Hey guys, this was a segment taken from our Residents of Evil podcast, so if you enjoyed this and would like to hear the full discussion, you can check it out now on our channel or on iTunes. Alright, let's get right into it.
Resident Evil 2.
The news going around about the Resident Evil 2 remake right now is sort of the possible leaks, the rumored leaks, the 4chan leaks, which take with a huge grain of salt. Do you guys want to discuss any of those leaks?
Sure, yeah, we could definitely do that.
Regardless of true or false, it makes for a good discussion. So I guess we can hit on some of the main topics because it brings up a lot of points that people are curious about with the Resident Evil 2 remake. You know, we haven't seen anything on it. We expected to get something on the 20th anniversary, and we haven't got anything. I do think we're going to get something soon, but to wrap up what this leak talks about is that it's an over-the-shoulder game. They tried first-person to fix, it didn't work. RPD and the surrounding streets were vastly redesigned, so not just tweaked, but vastly. Only 2 campaigns, so no zapping system, no A and B scenario for both. You got Leon A and Claire B. Crocodile was cut. Ada's section was vastly added to, so there's a lot more for Ada. She gets new weapons and stuff. Hunk was cut and possibly a DLC. Because Hunk was cut, the Croc was cut, there's possibly no Tofu. Costumes are back, so we get the Resident Evil 1.5 Elsa, it says, and the Resident Evil 1.5 gear for Leon. We still get the Rebecca picture and something else that's hidden in the trash. It says that it's projected for a late 2018 target release date.
When I saw that JJ had done this video about the Resident Evil 2 leaks and everything, I watched the video, obviously, and I saw the anonymous, he screen capped it and he put it up on the video. Now, I read through a lot of this stuff, and I want to say that this is probably all 100% fake, because a lot of the people that are out there on like 4chan and Reddit and everything, they don't really hide who they are anymore. They just keep putting spoilers out there that have turned out to be true. And with games like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite happening and the things that appeared in that, and then other games out there that are, you know, things that were spoiled that did come true, people were usually open about it. They didn't care who, like, what their name was. It was just a name.
Yeah.
I just think that, you know, this all might be made up in a way that would seem that this could be a viable leak if it was true. This is something Capcom has been known to do with certain things in the past. So, I mean, if Tofu's not in it, that's not really that big of a loss. I don't feel that he got that much attention anyway.
True.
I don't know. Like I said, if the crocodile's taken out, I'm gonna be pissed. Well, that fight is just really good, you know?
Like, it was something you remember. So there wasn't a whole lot of gameplay there. The tank falls, you shoot it, it explodes head, but you remember that crocodile's fucking head exploding.
Yeah, the top of the head just blows right off, and you got yourself like alligator chunks everywhere, and it's like, hey, I can make leather gloves out of it.
Yeah, that's a lot of leather, but that was crazy, and I think that's why so many people were upset when they read that about Croc being cut, is because it was a memorable part of the game.
It was completely random, but it was iconic.
Yeah, and it fit. If it was in the sewers and it, came out of nowhere, and you're like, okay, giant spiders, giant crocs, cool. Did you have anything else you'd like to say, Tony, at all on it? You just don't think you think it's BS, and there's not, don't take too much too seriously?
Yeah, I think it's BS, the fact that they couldn't get the fixed and FPS version to work. That, to me, I'm just like, no, I think they could,
Yeah.
The way I think of this, I think they're going to go the route, the money route. And what I mean by that, money and fame route. Now, granted, yes, the Resident Evil franchise has been popular for years because of what Resident Evil 4 did. Resident Evil 5 was more action-oriented, but playing with friends and its inventory improvement, it was done very well. 6, we all know what 6 was. Whether you like it or not, you have to admit the faults that were in Resident Evil 6. Like I said, I know people who like the game, but even they can admit the faults. But when it came to Resident Evil Remastered, when it was being thrown onto what it is now, it was thrown onto the PSN, the PS3 and PS4.
Yeah.
People went crazy for that. They went nuts, and this was people who shunned the older games and they couldn't play with tank controls. Then they found out that there's an analog option, which is something that did exist in the N64 version of Resident Evil 2. I think that Capcom, in my opinion, these leaks may not be true and all, which is the whole you can't get the fixed camera angles to work. I think they can, because I think they saw. I think it still holds a huge record on the PSN for being the most downloaded game or something like that you paid for.
Yeah, it did really well.
You gotta remember, that's just digital sales. So I think that might be the route they go, because that made them a lot of money, and it got a lot of new school fans that have been fans of Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 in the Revelations franchise that got them interested in the old games that they said they didn't want to play because of the controls. Now with the analog option, it's a lot easier. So I think that closing out, like I said, the leaks might be fake, but I feel that my idea is more sound than what we've read here.
You make a lot of good points on it. Arlie, is there anything you wanted to say on the leaks or anything about the Resident Evil 2 remake you would like to bring up from that?
Yeah, I think parts of it are true and accurate. I think it's old. I think it's old content that old leaks, and I think
because we've got a lot of these leaks before from credible sources.
Yeah, I feel like they probably have made some changes since that. We don't know when it came out, but I figured that there's some decisions that were probably made, if those leaks are accurate, that have been corrected by now, I would hope.
Yeah.
Some of it makes sense, and I like some of the decisions they're making. I like the fact that we're going to see more of the city, more of the RPD, more of the sewers, all the different areas.
Okay.
I don't mind third-person perspective. I'd like fixed angled, but I can get where they're going with that because they've used that style for so long. To me, it's not really that much of an issue. It would make the gameplay probably easier and harder in a way because they could do more with it. I think putting fixed camera angles would be amazing. At the same time, I think it restricts what they would be able to do as far as the game is concerned. Taking the croc out doesn't make any sense to me because that is, if you're releasing something because it's a nostalgia and the fans love it and this is something we've cried about for a long time, you don't take out one of the best parts of the original game. It's something that was just, again, iconic. The alligator was iconic. It was random and just off the wall, but it was something that you will always remember from the game. The hunk thing, I can understand what they're doing with that. I don't agree with it. That's going to be a DLC, but I can see them actually giving him some storyline to play through, not just a survival, get out of there type mission. So I think we're going to see some story to him, which would be cool. Ada getting her own campaign. A lot of people are saying, well, they cut out the A-B scenarios. It's not necessarily they cut them out. It's just there's no alternate version. I think it's B with Leon, and Claire is A.
Yeah.
I think that's the way it's supposed to go. So you're going to get a Claire story, you're going to get Leon's story, and then Ada's going to have her own story, which will intersect with Leon, of course, and everybody else. So in a way, it's almost like Resident Evil 6, where you had different campaigns for each person, and those were very long campaigns. So I'm expecting to see a lot of story behind it for each campaign fleshed out more. Tofu should be in there. And I think that's pretty much it. Did I miss anything?
No, you pretty much summarized it, pretty much all the main points well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get too far into my ideas because I've explained in videos many, many times, but I kind of agree with you that not everything about this leak, if it's true, was negative. I like the thought of the vastly altered RPD and city streets, and at first if I would have heard they were changing the RPD, I'd have been like, hell no, the RPD is awesome, you keep it the same, you just, make it like Resident Evil 1 Remake where you add a couple things. But if they continue the same gothic, ominous style of Resident Evil 2, and they change it in a way that's new for old fans and new fans, like, we may be able to explore a whole new RPD that's very reminiscent and similar to the classic, but is a new experience for all of us. And to add on to the streets, the labyrinth of streets, I think that's incredible. I would love more streets. Raccoon City streets are a character in themselves, just like the RPG. It's like it's a part of the story. So I will, I'd love to see those. As far as, I second you on the camera angles. At first I was very adamant that they need to be fixed to stay true to the classic, but I'm open to an over-the-shoulder as long as it's done properly, and if they are changing the RPD, then they may make it so that the game is balanced accordingly to that, and I'm okay, if it turns out okay. In all, it wasn't all bad from this. There was some pretty positive things, and there were some very negative things.
There's one thing I want to add, and this might actually make a lot of people happy because I might not have thought about this. Now, I know a lot of people have had backlash. They're like, oh, they're changing the RPD. This is what we know. They can't change the classic. They can't do this. Why are they going to do this to us? Well, here's the thing, guys. This is what you got to remember. Think about what Resident Evil Remake did for the original Resident Evil. Now, granted, the original Resident Evil main hall, the stairwell where the save room is with the busted door, or near the busted door that Barry fixes, the guardhouse. Think of all these areas that you grew up with the original Resident Evil 1 and then played in the remake. They were all redone in a way that didn't hurt the original. If anything, it improved the original. And that's what we're looking at. That's what we could be looking at for the Resident Evil 2 remake. A lot of the stuff may still be there, because you also have to remember too, a lot of places in the RPD were boarded off we couldn't get into and stuff. So
yeah,
we've got areas where we're going to see updates to how these are done. And if Capcom has been watching the fan remakes on YouTube for years, they're going to be like, oh, okay, so we could do it like this and people are still going to like it. And then what a lot of people don't, you got to realize too, Resident Evil Remake was also about 60% new stuff as well. 40% old stuff, 60% new things. So by doing that, we're gonna get new areas of a police station. We may get like the shooting range, which I think was in 1.5. We may even see things from 1.5 get put in this game because there's more space on the game to play. So we could see a lot more areas of the RPD. So if you're upset that they might change things, think about that, what I just said, in the future, and just we could be seeing updated things of what we like. Now, I'm not saying they could totally go around and just screw that up. Yeah, they could do that, but I think with if they follow what they did with Remake, I think it's possible that we'll see something good.
Yeah, I hope they follow that, because I feel like Remake is the best made Resident Evil game to date, and I think a lot of people would agree. But yeah, I guess that pretty much wraps up the Resident Evil 2 rumored leaks. Thank you all for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, and for more Resident Evil discussions, make sure to subscribe. The Residents of Evil is a Patreon supported channel, so if you'd like to see your name here in the credits or unlock some other great perks, head over to patreon.com/ROE Network. Thanks again, and we hope to see you back at the Residents of Evil.